when we go around too, I apologize to people, but it's not like we just show up and like stick a mic in your face, they start talking. But anglers, same thing that I cast, they're very good at just.
Oh yeah, we can turn it on and off.
Well,
in one take, like just.
Yep.
We say that
because we're always thinking about fishing.
That's right.
So it's just immediately just.
All right, guys, we are live here at day 2 at the Richmond Fishing Expo. I here have Jared of Jake's Bait and Tackle and the man, the myth, the legend, McChicken McCluskey. How are you guys doing?
Good.
I'm doing good.
Good to see
I can't
you, man.
hear you on my headphones, but I'm doing good.
How about now?
Now we're talking.
Okay, there we go. Jared, you need it up or down?
Much better. Good.
That's good.
Okay, cool. Let me know. I don't want to make your ears bleed. I mean, first and foremost, go with Gare Bear here. Jared, what do you think of the expo so far?
I think it's going to be a good day. Like I said, Les was saying Riley's show was very good, good attendance, and people were buying things, and so it's Friday's always kind of a slower day, but Saturday's a big day here. People are off and it's already busy. It's good to see people out and about. And so, what do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was pretty good, but I feel like today, with the weather being bad tomorrow, a bunch of people are going to swing by, and it's going to be busy all day. It's still early, and I mean, you see how busy it is in here. So,
How's Lake Anna been fishing?
it's been fishing good. Yeah, it hasn't gotten real cold, so the fish haven't really moved out offshore big time yet. Surprisingly, they've been really shallow, but they're still biting.
In general, so would this be like the early winter, late winter? Like, what kind of phase would you say they're in? If you're saying it's not cold enough for them to be deep,
I would say early winter. I mean, it's even weird for early winter. Like early winter, you'd still think like they're going to be pushing offshore, getting on deep rock and brush and stuff. But even then, like they're still relatively shallow.
And that is interesting. We talked about that, how you can't always follow the rule of thumb of thinking, okay, it's wintertime, here we are January, and it's like, oh, you're going to have to find them deep. But and it kind of shows that fish are kind of doing their thing, and they're going to change. We talked about that too. They'll change overnight. They'll change within the hour.
Yep. Yeah, it's just year by year in the wintertime, it seems to change where the bait fish wants to sit. And the bait fish seems to be, I mean, you can look down and see them flickering on the surface in 42-degree water. Like we've been seeing topwater blow-ups, like fish coming up and chasing bait on the surface.
wow,
It's crazy.
Compared to last year where we had that deep freeze, we had higher water. Has the water drought basically, has that affected anything?
I don't feel, maybe it has in a way, like the fish would have normally been in like 5 to 10 feet of water, which is still relatively shallow, but they seem to be in that even shallower than that. So maybe they're still looking for that same depth line where the water was when it was normal pool. But yeah, with it being 3 feet low, I don't know how well it's affected it or bad it's affected it. It could have been better if the water was normal pool and they'd actually be offshore, but I have no idea. I just going out fishing, that's all.
Well, that's probably actually the better thing to do, is not have preconceived notions at all about anything. And then, guys, yeah, please just let me know how everything is. Mics are a little bit low right now because there is static noise. When I re-upload this, I don't want to blow out the mic, so just turn it up on your end. Let's drop some questions here, and you're going to win a gift card for me on Jake's Bait and Tackle. Ask a good question here. First thing, Jared, I want to ask you is, you know, what is going on with Jake's right now with the kayak show? What is the date, and what is that event going to be?
Yeah, so February 21st. I'm going to turn around and see if I have the. Got you right here. February 21st, 10 to 2. What's so cool about this 4th annual, and what is great about this is we set it up like a car show, and so we'll have maybe 12, 15 different kayaks in the shop. We give out different awards for best in show, best river, best big water, but it's an opportunity for guests to come in that maybe have a kayak or think about getting into kayak. All the different rigging options that these guys put on these small boats, these kayaks, it gives them people an opportunity to walk around and talk and share what works, what doesn't work, and different things. And so it's been a very successful deal for us. So February 21st, 10 to 2, we'll have a food vendor there as well. So come on out to Jake's and see what's out there. If you want to enter a kayak, you can do that. Just email us, jared.mounts@jakesbaitandtackle.com, and we'll get you entered in. And it's real simple, real easy, just a good day. So come on out.
And then Matt, I think this is a first for you. You're not just here perusing; you're actually working the show.
Yeah, I'm working the Dance Sporting Goods booth this year. They got a good team of tournament guys that they added on this year. And just kind of, I moved down to Richmond and found the place, and they've been really good to me. And they offered me a small opportunity, but just a little small partnership, and going to help me out throughout the season for the meat fishing tournaments, along with a bunch of other guys, and see how it goes. It's been really good so far, though.
Did they reach out to you? Did you reach out to them, or how did that work?
I reached out to them just because I'd been in there so much, I spent so much money. I was like, might as well ask for something, but nothing major. I reached out to them. They've just been awesome. So.
What a great catch, too, because, I mean, that's what's so unique about smaller bait and tackle shops is the fact that you fish, and when you got people that fish, and you're not just selling something, like you're able to tell them where to use it, how to use it, when to use it to help them have success. And I think that's you can't find that anywhere.
Yeah, it's having the tournament guys on your staff, I really feel like helps a lot because they're getting their name out there at the tournament level, not only just like the local fishing level, and helping grow your brand. So
this is something I've actually wanted for a while because you can hit it from both ends. You're basically a high school coach. You deal with youth a lot. You're semi-young, and I just had two basic.
You old man.
Yeah.
I feel old, man.
But that's the thing. It's almost like with athletes where you watch this, it's like, oh, he's 30. He's over the hill now.
Right.
I got to interview two guys that went to the high school national championship twice in college. And I was listening to them about scope, and I was like, "Holy shit, you are too young to be this intelligent about." Like, and that's not a knock, but it's like they're so hyper good at a younger age. Is that where we're going with everything, with scope and all these techniques? Are the pro staff just going to get younger and younger to where a 35, 40-year-old is going to seem like a dinosaur in 10, 15, 20 years?
I think this year will really determine how that goes with the limitations on the forward-facing sonar, and if the bigger leagues, MLF is doing the same thing they did last year, so I don't think they're going to really see growth on the BBT side of viewership, but like the BFLs and the Toyota Series, like what I'm doing with the limitation 3-hour rule, but the Elite Series doing it where they're doing like one tournament on, one tournament off, they're going to, once they see how the viewership is, if viewership's going up for tournaments that there's no scope, they're going to completely get away with it, and then maybe it'll go back to the way it was where like prime fishing years will be in your early to mid 30s, I would say, when your knowledge and experience kind of gets to that point where you can be in your prime. But if it just keeps going with no limitations on forward facing, I think that's definitely where it's going, where that young, early 20, mid-20s is going to be your prime fishing years. Because I feel it now already, like in my hips and my ankles and stuff. I've gotten fat, so it's not helping. But like after a long day of fishing, I mean, sitting there scoping around, looking at constantly having your head down, looking at fish, I mean, it wears you down. And being young is definitely a big advantage in that game. So.
It's just the evolution of the sport too. I think, like you said, it's. I think if we want to keep this tradition going on, fishing tradition, like I think it's okay to introduce technology. And I hear, I can't stand all the negativity that we hear from it, but because not everybody's tournament fishermen either. You know, you have a section of that pie that is tournament, but you got a lot of just weekend warriors too. And when you talk about young generation, if that's something that gets them into fishing, whereas maybe they otherwise wouldn't, and it doesn't mean you have to use it either, right? Because like you said, just more fishing. Like you find too that I think it is going to balance out where you're going to use it as a tool, but then at the same time you're going to just turn that thing off depending on where you're at, or if you are fish shallow, and I'm just going to fish. Yeah,
I enjoy the days where I go to a place where I'm not really having to utilize it. Like if there's been days on Anna where I'm just like, I want to go skip boat docks, and I just turn it off and I'll just go skip boat docks all day. But it's just,
and it's as simple as and poignant as what they said. It's like, there's some tournaments that you just have to do it to win. If you go to Lake Hartwell certain times a year, because they both said, which was fascinating, like North Carolina doesn't usually set up for scoping wins just the way those lakes are, and that's true. If you're going to go to some of these places, of course you're going to have to really rely on that or lean into it. Toledo Bend in February, like it's a no shit that it's going to be a thing. They did mention something interesting, Matt, that I want to ask you about. I don't know if this is a strategy or hoping, but about how most of the people that won the championship a year ago down there, they were just down in the middle of the lake just chasing bait balls. And they said there wasn't a pattern necessarily. It was literally you just wake up and you start going.
This was on Bugs 2 years ago or something?
It was
the
either
regional?
on Bugs or Hartwell. It was a high school event. And I guess, how the hell can a strategy be just like you just show up and you just look for them? mentally?
I mean, it's hard, but there's ways of using side scan, or if you want to go crazy and just go on 100 in the middle of the lake scoping around, which I think is ridiculous. I'm not a fan of that at all. There's a time of year to do it, but I just don't. It's not my style of scoping. But I mean, I just don't like. I don't think that is the way it's meant to be utilized. And that's spotlighting. Like in my eyes, like I'd rather run side scan, find high percentage places, run those high percentage places, go down a bank, catch them shallow with it, like see them on structure with it, and kind of hold it, figure out how to get them to come off the structure and react correctly, than just going around just throwing them into it. Suspended fish, and I do that plenty, don't get me wrong, but I like finding where they're ganged up and why they're ganged up there, and then figuring out how to get them to bite.
As an athlete mentally, listening to them say, like, literally on game day, they just like, yeah, we're going to go to the deep channel and just look. My brain was like, there's no way in hell with money on the line I could just, like, my game plan is just to wing it. Is that something that scope is, you have to do to be good at scope, is you can't just be like, I'm going to hit these spots? Sometimes if you're chasing bait balls, you literally have to have that wing it mentality.
Yeah, there's definitely times where it's just like, oh, I'm going to go out here and look. But I've seen it plenty of times where I'll be going down the bank and you got to be panning out because you're going to miss that fish. Like, I mean, that's your bonus fish right there. And if you're going down the bank and you're not seeing anything, like kind of on the structure of the bank, and you're continuously seeing fish out there off of the bank, like just suspended over nothing, that's when you're going to spend your time and go out there and kind of be like, okay, maybe there's something to this. They're just floating around out here. So maybe that's how those guys found it, but if not, they just side scan and look for bait probably. And then when they saw a mass amount of bait, which they probably did, then they just throw them over the water and looked.
Well, I even think the style you're fishing too. If you're going, like, how many times have we like thought, okay, I'm going to throw the chatterbait, I'm going to throw this, I'm going to do the reaction bite, and you get out there, or vice versa, I'm going to start with finesse, but then 20 mile an hour winds or whatever, you have to, or you're throwing that and they're not responding to that. So now you're like, I got to slow down, I got to put this down, I got to pick the spinning rod up, and I got to try something different. Either way, like I think that's what I love about fishing too, is how much of the decision making. So back to your point of pre-plan, you go out and you can start with that, and if it works, great. But if it doesn't, that's when you have to start. You either move or you're going to say, I got to change my style.
And I think that's the biggest variable there is older anglers are so set in their ways.
Correct.
When I listen to two kids being like, yeah, national champion, we just went out and lung it. And it's like, there's no way in hell a 40, 50, 60-year-old could just audible like that. And I think that's something, again, everyone wants to point at scope as being the only thing. Every generation of athletes is better, faster, stronger at a younger age.
That's right.
And when you have that mental ability in a big high-pressure situation, just to go out and just read the water in the moment and not letting all that past history, I think that's something that's missing that we're not teaching and not actually giving a tip to the cap to the next generation that they're willing to do on the big stage. They have the ice in the veins to just go out there and figure it out the day of. Which you've done extremely well. You don't let necessarily, it seems like the past history always pull you to something else.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't like fishing. Sometimes I'll rely on it to like start a day, depending on where I'm fishing. Like on Anna, like I'll fish some places I know that they've been, or I caught them the last weekend to start. But most of the weekends that we've had done well this year, I'm literally fishing brand new water. Like I'm like, okay, let's go over there. I haven't fished there before. Just the fish move around so much, and you think you know every spot that the fish goes on because you've been fishing somewhere for 10 years and you do not. Like they move around.
Yeah, and I like Streichel when he talked to our youth before the Anna tournament, and I love how anybody that says, look, this is what's working for me, and I'm going to give you this, but don't go away from what your strengths are. Or he had a client out, they threw the plopper early, nothing, and then lo and behold, like later on, like at 11:30, the guy's like, you think the plopper worked? And I love, Streichel says, try it, pick it up. Caught back-to-back 4-pounders. So like this thing too of like, goes back to what the rule of thumb is. Well, not typically on it, but hey, if you're thinking, go ahead and try it. You don't know how the fish are going to respond. So don't lock in, be flexible. That's what you said, that's what hard is.
You had two big tournaments this year I want to pin on, which is the Potomac River and then, of course, the James. Now, it might be because I'm possibly schizophrenic and not medicated, but how do you keep the voices out of your head when you were in contention 3 days, long drive, and you think? It's one thing when you're a quarterback and you're getting hit and you don't have time, but there's a lot of time there where you're just with your thoughts about the moment. How did you overcome that if you had that at all?
I mean, the regional, there was no option on the James. Like, I had to go where I was going regardless, and I just found that spot. But the Potomac was, I put a lot of practice time on the water. I mean, I spent a week and a half with the BFL practice and the Toyota Series kind of backing up to each other. But I mean, I just had what I had, and I just ran that. I didn't really feel like going and running any history. I was like, I'm gonna, because that's what's hurt me on the Potomac in the past. It's just like I'm gonna run and gun and fish a bunch of different stuff. Like I need to put what got me here was setting down in 3 areas and picking those 3 areas apart and trying them on different tides every day. If it didn't work one day, and I'm just gonna stick it out, because that's what you do on the river. You don't run a gun. Like if you have confidence there's fish in the area, you stick it out and just fish it as hard as you can.
Did it feel like a perfect game, the James River event? Like when you're on the mountain, it's like everything is just working. Is that the kind of feeling, or did it feel like there was mishaps?
It didn't really feel like. I mean, it definitely was that perfect game feeling. I mean, from Jump Street, like I've told you the story. I put the trolling motor in the water and I started catching fish as soon as I got there. Like I had my limit 5 casts basically every day, both days. And I mean, I called my limit on the second day, and basically like once I got to 16 pounds after an hour and a half, I went and got gas and I ran all the way back up to the barge pits. It's just like I'm gonna stay here 10 minutes from the boat ramp just in case anything happens. But the first day it was kind of like, oh my gosh, these are way bigger than they were in practice. So it was definitely quite the relief.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, I don't want to keep you guys too long. We're here. We do have a couple of we got Jeremy Watson 2559. Randy Bloggett just entered the chat. We have hi Pole. Oh my God, you're alive. All right, Tyler's in the chat. Surprise appearance at 11 a.m. I'm coming back from the grave. Awesome. Hi Pole. I need his autograph. The man, the myth, the legend. Oh, got anything on Instagram? Okay, Aaron.Diana1, I think. I'm sorry, I can't read. I think this conversation is a lot of the reason I like the DMV Potomac, having a lot of big shallow water fishing. I mean, dude, we got the best shallow water fishing around compared to other places for sure. If you like that, because I found out from interviewing, if you're a North Carolina, South Carolina guy, you hate the Potomac because of the camping. And if you camp, you hate that kind of run and gun fishing.
Yep.
But you have to be good at both.
I'm from the Potomac and I hate the camping. It sucks, but you got to do it.
Oh my goodness. Hype up your booth. What's going on? Any discounts, anything like that? Jazz.
Just a bunch of 20%. G. Loomis has got a really good deal going on at the Dances booth. We have a bunch of Sakamata shads. Not a bunch left because people come taking them off the shelf like crazy, myself included. But yeah, the Sakamata's 20% off. Anything over $200, you get a free Shimano armor joint swim bait. It's like a $50 swim bait. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Come say hi.
Come say hi. He's fishing the Lake Anna Winter Series tomorrow, guys.
Good
so
luck.
stay tuned. Oh, actually, your YouTube channel. You're actually big on your social media.
Oh, yeah.
now.
Just Matt McCluskey Fishing. Same thing as my Instagram handle. Been kind of lacking on posting videos. I went crazy for a little while. It was like 6 videos in a span of like 2 weeks. And then it was Christmas time, and I started moving. I moved to Lake Anna, so that's just been kind of busy recently. So I'm gonna jump back on the editing train and get some videos out for you guys.
We got one last question here. Jeremy Watson, 2559. McCluskey, what is your PB snakehead?
I'd say probably around 10 pounds.
Okay.
I haven't weighed them. I don't target them specifically. And honestly, it's going down on the river. The bow fishermen are devastating.
Interesting.
Like, normally you'd go out and get one a trip when you were out there, but I can probably tell you I went out to the Potomac 10 times in a row this year fishing tournaments and stuff and did not catch one.
Huh.
So, I mean, somewhere around the 10 pound mark. I've seen some big ones. My buddy Alex has caught one that was like 12 pounds or something.
Oh, awesome.
I would say, yeah, between 8 and 10 pounds. I don't know for sure.
Gentlemen, I really appreciate it. Guys,
Thanks,
we're going to take a
Tom.
small commercial break, and we'll be back with our next guest.
Hey everyone, quick little announcement here from Fishing in the DMV. Our Weekend Warrior Club membership on Patreon is now open to new members. All Patreon club members will receive 20% off their orders to Tactical Fishing Company, 15% off their orders to Super Blue Stuff, 10% off their orders to Tiger Crankbaits, 5% off their order to Jake's Bait and Tackle. You'll also gain access to join 4 month-long fishing tournaments that I'm holding in 2026. Last year, I gave away over $8,000 in cash prizes, plaques, and just giveaways, including a couple of guided fishing trips with legendary anglers like SB Fishing and Ethan Stone. And I'm hoping hoping to blow it out this year as well. You'll also gain access to our private Facebook group community, ad-free episodes of the show, and monthly fishing reports, especially for you smallmouth river anglers. I really try to keep you guys up to date on the flow gauges for the different rivers in our area. And there's so much more. As more sponsors come online in 2026, I'm going to increase the benefits to everyone. You get all of this for $8 a month, which is less than a megabass jerkbait or a jackhammer chatterbait. And I'll sweeten the pot. If you sign up for the whole year, I'll give you 15% off your membership. 15% off. Guys, this is just a way I can say thank you to everyone that helps support and keep this show going. Link in the episode description. Thank you so much. You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your host, Thomas Ahrens. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia, and Tactical Fishing Company.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.
So it's easier to hear me. All right. So, yeah, we're live. All right. Is that too loud, too high?
I can't hear you at all.
How about now? How about now? How
Perfect.
about perfect? All right, cool.
Maybe a little lower.
Lower. All right, how about that?
That's perfect.
All right, perfect, guys. All right, sweet. All right, guys, we are back live here at the Richmond Show and Expo. We got a beautiful, awesome, beautiful man here. Great guest. We are talking about, I'm going. It's been a long day already. We're going to be talking about some cool things. Because the one thing I like about this channel is talking about kind of off-the-wall things in general when it comes to fishing content. I am going to get a guy on in a couple weeks talking about water rights, which I think is fascinating because of the Jackson River. We're going to talk about weather. So I'm just going to let him just take it away. So if you want to tell all the fine people at home, who are you and what's the name of that little business you have in Lake Anna?
Yeah, good morning. Thank you, Tom. I run Michael Eckert, and I run the Lake Anna weather page on Facebook. I also have a web page, but I started it about 4 years ago. It was like December of 21, and it's been going great. Over 7,000 people now are following me on that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's grown quite a bit. Do a little bit of advertising on there to pay for my hit fishing habit and what I can spend out here at the show this weekend. And it's been growing great. A lot of followers. Everyone loves it. And I think about the thing about my page. I think there's a lot of weather pages out there on Facebook. Some are meteorologists, some are not meteorologists, and a lot of them though tend to be quite biased, and they're always swinging for the fences and saying, oh, this is the big one, and this big snowstorm or this big thunderstorm outbreak or something like that. And I generally keep things a little bit more tempered down because you just don't get big storms, that often here in the Middle Atlantic. And we haven't had a big snowstorm here other than the one through Central Virginia in January of 22, where they had about 12 to 14 inches of snow right across Lake Anna to Fredericksburg. And that was a bad one. That was a very heavy wet snow, brought down trees. They were out of power for about a week down in the Lake Anna area. But before that, the last big storm was 2016, January of 2016.
Has it really been that long?
It's been 9 years since we've had a big storm here, yeah. But January and February are the times when we usually have the biggest snows in Virginia. It's because we have plenty of cold air available coming down from Canada, and then we tend to get surges of moisture and energy coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. And really the day or the time when we tend to see more big winter storms here in the Middle Atlantic is right around President's Day. There's kind of a highlight right there, right around President's Day. So the first week or two of February seems to be the big time for the big snows across the region.
So, and this is something that I've heard, so to speak, the doc talk this whole weekend about the drought. California is getting floods, El Nino. And guys, we have a long form episode. Go check it out on the channel. Just type in this man's name, it'll pop right up. But could you explain to everybody at home just the basic rudimentary El Nino, and how drought cycles work?
Yeah, so La Nina, which we've been in since it started around midsummer, tends to bring us more drought conditions here in the Middle Atlantic, and that's what we've had. And we're still in La Nina, where the temperatures of the Central Pacific are actually below what they normally are, a little bit colder than normal. It adjusts the jet stream. And if you have a La Nina, it adjusts the jet stream in a different way because the water temperatures tend to be warmer than normal. And we usually end up with more stormy conditions or persistent stormy conditions during El Nino years. And those are the years that we tend to get bigger storms on the East Coast, and we tend to get a little bit more favorable for heavy winter storms. But when you look at those big patterns, you can't say, oh, we're going to have a big winter. Last winter was El Nino, and we didn't have any winter storms. We had a lot of little small stuff, but we didn't have any big winter. But we did have a lot of rains. It started in the spring, and April, May, June, July, very heavy rain across the area. Lake Anna was at full pool, even above full pool at times. And then the patterns flipped, and we went into drought in August, and the lake started dropping. Fortunately, in August and September, actually August through December, our temperatures were actually a little bit below normal, so we didn't have as much evaporation that we normally do for that time of year. So even though we didn't get the rain, we didn't have as much evaporation. Otherwise, things would be actually worse than they are. But we're stuck in this drought pattern. Every time it looks like we're getting a pretty good storm moving up here, it just kind of fades as it moves in, just because that pattern is locked in. So, but the next couple of weeks actually is looking maybe a little bit better. The pattern over North America is what we call split flow, where we've got northern stream energy feeding the cold air down into the eastern U.S., while at the same time we've got a separate jet stream, the subtropical jet stream, that's coming across the southwestern and southern U.S. And if that system can pick up moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico or off the Atlantic, the Caribbean, and then move up the coast and combine with energy coming out of the northern stream, those are our chances of getting in big snows. And we're going to have a mini one tomorrow. So we've got the front coming through right now, a little bit of rain out there across Virginia. There's actually, as I drove in, I was seeing some snowflakes melting as they hit the windshield, but temperatures were like in the mid-30s to low 40s. That'll move out. This cold front will move through today, and then that front's going to stall right on the east coast, and then we're going to get a chunk of energy in that southern stream that's going to move up into the eastern U.S., combined with the cold air coming in tonight. And it looks like on the back edge of the precipitation shield, probably right along I-95 and west of I-95, looks like we'll get some light snow. For this area, it's probably going to start off as rain right here in the Richmond area, and maybe change to some snow later in the day as the cold air filters in. You know, maybe a ½ inch to an inch of snow. It just doesn't, it's going to be more of a pain snow where it's just enough snow to kind of mess up the roads and stuff like that, but nothing big. And that moves out, and then it's going to get really cold here for the next 3 or 4 days. Lows well into the teens. Looks like we'll get quite a bit of ice forming on the smaller lakes, and then Lake Anna, the upper parts of Lake Anna, probably see quite a bit of ice form in those areas too.
Is it what makes these drought cycles? Is it something that's predictable? Is it unpredictable when we get into these big drought rotations?
Well, with La Nina, we generally have more droughty conditions, and El Nino, it's definitely wetter conditions for us here in the eastern U.S. And when you look at that big picture, you're kind of favoring those kind of conditions. But there's also things that are happening on a smaller scale across an area. And a lot of times when you get into a pattern and you're locked in, it's hard to break a pattern, especially like we've been in for 7 months now. We've been in this drought here in the middle Atlantic area. Much worse up in the mountains to the west along the Appalachians and Blue Ridge. Not as much here further east as you go further east. But it's just hard. Once a pattern gets locked in, it's hard for the atmosphere to break out of the pattern. Soils are dry, lakes are low, things like that. It all feeds into these patterns and how they lock in.
Dude, guys, please go give them a follow. One more time, please plug your website. If people want to follow you, get updated reports, where do they go?
They go to Facebook, go to Lake Anna Weather, and you'll have to request. It's a closed group. That's how I have control over it, so you don't get anything but weather. You're not going to get ads. Well, you will get some ads because I have advertisers on there, but not much. But it's all weather related. I try to explain things, keep things simple for people so they can understand. If you have questions, you can send me a question. I'll go ahead and answer it. It's just a nice open format, but it is a closed group, so I have more control over comments and stuff like that, you know, because some of these Facebook pages can get pretty out of hand with how things go down on them.
Sir, thank you so much. Guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We got a kayak guy up next talking about the Kayak Bass Nation. And if you guys could, please go check me out on Patreon. We're running a special this weekend for anyone that signs up as a Patreon member. Ton of benefits right now. And honestly, you can really just help me pay my mortgage, which I would really appreciate. So quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Hey everyone, quick little announcement here from Fishing in the DMV. Our Weekend Warrior Club membership on Patreon is now open to new members. All Patreon Club members will receive 20% off their orders to Tactical Fishing Company, 15% off their orders to Super Blue Stuff, 10% off their orders to Tiger Crankbaits, 5% off their order to Jake's Bait and Tackle. You'll also gain access to join 4 month-long fishing tournaments that I'm holding in 2026. Last year, I gave away over $8,000 in cash prizes, plaques, and just giveaways, including a couple of guided fishing trips with legendary anglers like SB Fishing and Ethan Stone, and I'm hoping to blow it out this year as well. You'll also gain access to our private Facebook group community, ad-free episodes of the show, and monthly fishing reports, especially for you smallmouth river anglers. I really try to keep you guys up to date on the flow gauges for the different rivers in our area. And there's so much more. As more sponsors come online in 2026, I'm going to increase the benefits to everyone. You get all of this for $8 a month, which is less than a megabass jerkbait or a jackhammer chatterbait. And I'll sweeten the pot. If you sign up for the whole year, I'll give you 15% off your membership. 15% off. Guys, this is just a way I can say thank you to everyone that helps support and keep this show going. Link in the episode description. Thank you so much.
That you can also go back and show future.
All right, guys, we are live again. The commercial break is over. All right, perfect. So we got our next guy up here, guys. So all you gotta do, put your headphones on. All right, so this is just so you can hear me a little bit better. Is it too loud or too quiet? What do you think?
No, you're good.
You're good right there? All right, sweet. All right, guys. So let me get my headphone back in because this is gonna be a fun one here. All right. Let me hit the little record button because, guys, the reason I'm clapping, by the way, if you want to do that, is I'm recording the audio separately because we're in a loud place. It might not be perfect and clean, but then after the fact, I can clean it up and make it good. So we got a fun guy on. This episode went a little viral. I think we had like over 15,000 downloads and views for it. We talked about kayak fishing and also the Virginia Beach, Suffolk area. The man, the myth, the legend. Dude, just introduce yourself to the whole world and what you do.
Hi, so I'm Sean Boersma, Tournament Director for Virginia Bass Nation Kayak Series. I'm also a tournament angler. I like to travel around, fish the national trails when I can, Bassmaster, KBF. A little bit of history. My last year with KBF, I finished second in AOI, won the Trail Series Championship, and finished 11th at the National Championships. So kayak fishing is it's a great sport. It's fun, and had the opportunity to run the Virginia Bass Nation Trail Series. We did good last year. 67 members, averaged about 40 anglers per tournament, and we're looking to get the numbers up this year.
And then I am actually going to do my intelligence thing. Let's go Virginia, because I don't remember the schedule off the top of my head. Virginia, Kayak Bass Nation. If the internet work. What goes in? Here we go. Oh, schedule-wise. Last year, it was an insanely good schedule. This year, it's also an insanely good schedule. How do you come up with your schedule when it comes to kayak fishing?
So what I like to do is ask the guys where they want to fish. Bodies of water that I might not see or know about, or, we like to hit the big ones, but we also know that there's more trails than just Virginia Bass Nation. So NVKBA, those guys run a heck of a club up there. We know they like to fish a lot of that, a lot of the northern stuff. So we try to tie in one or two with them, and then just hit all the big bass factories around here. Sandy River, Briery. I think that's going to be one of our go-to season openers for the next few years. We get there in March. Not a lot of boat traffic out there. Plenty of room. Talking to Yak Attack, Appomattox River Company. Hopefully we'll get some sponsors and be able to make it big going forward. That's the goal. Smith Mountain Lake, you got to fish it. It's just a staple. Kerr's the same way. I've never been to the New River before, so that's one of the ones that I wanted to try this year. Chickahominy, it always produces. So there's a lot of places in Virginia to fish. I just don't want a schedule where we're jumping to the same places every year. So,
Was there any places that stuck out to you last year that like was your first time there that was like, oh, that's kind of neat?
Potomac.
Oh, it's your first time there? Oh, cool.
So I stayed at Harper's Ferry.
Oh, nice.
I camped out there, and I was able to walk the river. The water was a little low. That was a really neat fishery. I think Shenandoah was my favorite.
Favorite? Okay.
While I was judging fish, I would take a 10-minute break and just walk down to the bank, catch 4 or 5 smallmouth, and come back up and start judging some more fish. And that place put up a lot of numbers. I think that was our biggest tournament of the year. I think we had 48 anglers at that one.
Damn. Wow.
And then Sandy and Briar was right behind that. And then we kind of thinned out in the summer with chick and everything else. But it was hot for Chickahominy and everything else.
Yeah.
But chick. If you can find them on chick, you're going to find a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So
Timing there for chick and Briery and stuff, because those places are still, like right now, putting out insane numbers. So it's always a weird thing about hitting it at the right time. And that's the thing that's fun about kayak fishing, because like you mentioned the Shenandoah, that place is so pristine just as a vacation spot to just recharge. And the fact is with kayaks, you can make that a tournament destination. You can make Sandy, you can make Briery Creek, which you can't do with like a BFL standpoint.
right, it's as long as the numbers. I would love to see 100 anglers this year, next year. That would be great. I don't think we could hold 100 at Sandy by itself.
Oh yeah.
But between Sandy and Briery, it's definitely possible. So I like to fish the bigger lakes, but I don't like to be on the bigger lakes when all the bass boats are out there. So I don't like the guys get running by, get cut off, and everything else. So we're just going to spread it around. Wherever the guys want to fish, I'm here for you guys. That's what I'm here for. I'll ask you what you want. I'll ask you what you liked, what you didn't like, and majority rules.
And like you said, you have the ability in kayak tournaments just to put them on the best lakes, because if you guys remember our tier ranking list, I mean Briery and Sandy and the Chick Lake, they're A-material lakes. They're not as big as Smith Mountain, but you can catch 30-pound bags, 40-pound bags, your best 5.
Absolutely.
It's possible. And I know when you put it on the schedule, so many people might say, like, oh, I know where I'm vacationing now. Like, it's an idea that you could catch a state record there, which is kind of cool. And this is a good segue. Where you live is like fish heaven, whether it's salt or whether it's bass fishing, dude. Like, it's crazy how much water you have in your backyard.
I'm 10 minutes from the river, and I'm 15 minutes from the ocean. So I can go fish the Chesapeake Bay. I can go out of the ocean. I can go down to Sandbridge. If I want to fish for bass, West Neck Creek, North Landing River, Stumpy Lake.
Yep.
And then 40 minutes away, I have all the Suffolk Lakes. Prince and Western Branch, and all those lakes, Cahoon, Meade, and then I'm 45 minutes away from Chick.
Yeah.
So southeastern Virginia has there's a lot of fishing.
And it doesn't get the love because, again, it's weird because unless it is a Bassmaster, the James River Smith, it's like it doesn't exist to the general population. But where you're at, there's so many Sticks, you, Chaz, Jared, like so many guys that grow up on the Suffolk Lakes and stuff, and you can catch a ton of bass and get competitive.
Yes. Yeah. I like fishing Western Branch when the water's up a little more. But, I mean, all of these places in Virginia, I don't know why more tournament trails don't come out here.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Next year, little sneak peek, I'm trying to make something like the South Holston, Moomaw. I'm trying to make one of those work next year.
That would be cool.
Moomaw, right now, it looks like it's a logistical nightmare. Just in the sense of no cell signal and
no houses.
Yeah,
electricity.
That's something I would have to start setting up midsummer this year, just to make sure we can get campsites and everything else. And I had a couple guys scout it for me. They said the signal isn't horrible out there, so something like that, we might have to change the rules a little bit to where, if you don't have a signal, you'll have X amount of time to meet me so I can physically verify fish from your phone or physically upload them to the laptop or whatever and start judging from there. But
that'd be cool.
Northern Virginia, again, got all those lakes and the Upper Potomac, and I want to fish everything.
Will there ever be a year you think that we'll put one in your backyard and like just you get to pick from a Suffolk lake? You ever think that will ever happen?
Next year.
Oh wow, that'll be fun.
So next year,
Twist my arm.
I'm going to try and do either the Suffolk Lake or something in Virginia Beach, Back Bay, maybe the North Landing River. But we're going to come down a little bit further than Chickahominy. I think next year we might pull Chick off and put the Suffolk Lakes on.
I mean, guys, like book your Airbnb reservations now because that's just going to be an absolute blast. I'm going to be down there for probably 2 to 3 weeks just to fish everything. Because I haven't caught a flounder yet, ever. I want to catch a flounder. I want to do all that stuff as well. I keep saying it on the show when I talk to my saltwater guys. I don't know how if you grow up on the coast you get into bass fishing when you have so much stuff that you can do to be outdoors. It's
Salt
awesome.
water is so expensive.
It's blindingly expensive.
Oh my goodness!
But and like you even said it too. I didn't even realize this. You need 2 setups kayak wise because like just so you're not getting all your corrosive stuff on your bass gear.
Yeah, I don't want to take any of my freshwater stuff, troll a motor. I don't even want to put my tribe in salt water. You know, brackish waters is one thing. There's still some fresh to flush out the salt, but yeah, I mean, Virginia's a great state, man.
It really is.
I'm hoping we can get some sponsors going for this year, make next year huge. I was just talking to Mike with NBKBA, and you know, maybe we'll try and do a season opener together next year on one of these big bass factories. You never know. I mean, we're constantly talking with all the tournament directors, even in North Carolina. We got CKA down there, and you know, Battle of the Border. You know, it's just all the community down there is great. It's great up here, so we're hoping for a great year this year, and just hopefully we can keep getting this thing bigger and bigger. Last year, we qualified 3 anglers for the Bassmaster Kayak Series Championships. All their letters just went out, and we held back enough money from each tournament that we are able to reimburse those 3 anglers for their national championship
Oh, cool.
fees.
That's awesome.
So as soon as they pay and they register, we will be sending them back their registration fees to help with Airbnbs or travel or just whatever. You know, the guys fished all year long. They want it. They deserve it. So we're going to help them out as best we can.
Sean, thank you so much. Guys, go check it out. It's a big name, and it kills me, but Virginia Bass Nation Kayak Series. Type that in. It's on Facebook. Go check it out, and yeah, come join us this year as we kick off. It's going to be a great season. Guys, got a quick commercial break, and then we're going to have John Molnar on the show. He's just starting this right now, and we'll see you guys soon.
You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your host, Thomas Ahrens. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia, and Tactical Fishing Company.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.
Alrighty, guys. I gotta do my little clap to make sure I get this synced up in post-production. All right, we are back live. I have on, this guy is very soft-spoken as an individual. You know, he really keeps to himself, very shy. We have John Molnar on. We're gonna do a couple of things here. We're gonna first start off with the controversy, and then we're gonna talk about kayak fishing. He was Rookie of the Year. He's continuing to get better and improve. But he also, due to his background, secret agent man and stuff, I thought it'd be cool to talk about the polygraph stuff, because we always hear the Chad Hoovers and everybody else talk about the polygraphs, and I don't know if there's a lot of legit information on how this stuff works. So we're gonna get into it. But first, would you like me to turn up your headphones or lower it?
Yeah, turn them up. I could barely hear you.
How about now?
That's good.
Okay, perfect.
Test.
Perfect. Okay, so he didn't hear any of the compliments I gave him, so we're going to keep it like that. Polygraphs. Everyone's complaining about them. Kayak World, KBF, Bassmaster, in the boating world, all this stuff. Simple question. What the hell is a polygraph for people at home that don't understand it?
Yeah, I've taken a few in my federal career, and it's basically it's a long process, and it's to see if your initial answers match up with your answers later on in the interview.
It's like being married.
Yeah, something like exactly like that. I think Christina polygraphs me every week, and I don't even know it. Goes right over my head.
So when you see like those kids, I think it was at a Florida show, like they had a negative or a false positive or whatever.
Yeah.
Does that mean they actually did break a rule?
You know, I don't know, but
Or just in general, if you have a false positive? Let's rephrase it that way.
I can see where you can get caught up on it, because I mean, we all know about dock talk.
Yeah.
Guys talking at the dock about where they've been successful. You could very easily overhear that, and so you're receiving information, whether it's intentional or not. More than likely, it's unintentional. So I can see where somebody can get jammed up on a poly unintentionally just by overhearing something, or at a bait shop too. Everyone's talking about how they did that day at a bait shop. So yeah, I can see where you could get hemmed up initially in a poly.
Does it understand intent?
You know, I think that would be more up to the polygrapher.
What does that mean?
So,
Because it sounds like a naughty word.
yeah, that's up to interpretation. But I mean, if you've got a good polygrapher and they can tell that, if there's intent or not based on the way that you answer it, yeah. I mean, I've passed mine, so I was able to fool a few guys.
Is it 100% a golden bullet with that kind of stuff? Or is there a percentage of people that are sometimes or unjustly kind of done with it? Like, I feel like a lot of times in the world of fishing, it's like this sacred calf of like the sorting hat in Harry Potter. Like, as soon as you take it, anything that happens, 100% you're guilty 100% of the time. Is that true, or?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I know in my line of work, I know guys that have failed initial polys and you can take them again. I know in my agency you have to wait a year before you can take it again. And just from past experience, if there's a question or if there's an answer in doubt, that polygrapher can go into more detail to get the honest answer, if that makes sense. Yeah. I know the first one I took, I think I've told you this story, but I can't get into the details of the story, but the first one I took, there was some questions about there were some questions regarding my answer on the very first question of my very first poly. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to fail this thing. Holy crap. How am I going to tell my parents? But back then you got 3 breaks. So after the polygrapher asked me the very first question, I said, can I take a break? And he looked at me like I was crazy. And the polygraph was paused, and I explained to him, hey, the answer to this is going to be yes, but this is why it's going to be yes. And his response to that was basically, just be honest. It's not necessarily the answers you give, it's the honesty. You have to be 100% honest. So,
And maybe that's the issue with it in fishing is if you make the rule of like, hey, did you look at somebody today? You're going to fail that because, of course, hey, while you were fishing, did you talk to anybody about fishing? In 2026 with social media and bumping into people, and it's like, we're social creatures. Like, I think a lot of times if you try to peg somebody into a polygraph and ask them that question, anybody, they're probably going to fail it because the answer is probably yes. And it doesn't mean they're, I think, again, guys, I'm not saying about the no information rule. I think the way the rule is structured, it's easy to get somebody to fail it because it's so easy to accidentally talk to somebody because we're social creatures.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't know how the pros do it nowadays because, I mean, these guys are fishing 300 days a year. They're by the docks. They're at the bait shops. They're talking to their friends, their fellow competitors. I mean, unless you just put headphones on, those soundproof headphones on and walk around the whole year, I don't know how you can not get information.
The reason I want to talk about this with you specifically is yesterday at the show, I was talking with someone over here, and he was fishing, I think it was the Chick River, and he turned a corner, and there was this old guy in a boat while he was fishing an event, and he just started to talk his ear off.
Yeah.
And he was literally like, just yelling at him, you got to stop, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. And it's like, is that really the rule that we are enforcing? It seems kind of stupid, in my opinion, if it's something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know a pro angler, and not to get into names or details, but a pro angler. I get a house up in the St. Lawrence River, and this angler has stayed with us in the past, and my mom, Betty McMurtry, if you're listening, hopefully, hi Mom. I love my mom. She's a smallmouth hammer. She's 84. She could put half of these pros into the shame bucket because she can destroy down the St. Lawrence. But I remember one time he visited, and my mom said, "Oh, this is where I did well the other," and he said, "Whoa, stop. Don't say anything more. Like, la, 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 la. I don't want to hear where you went, what you used, just for the sake of if you got polyed." But I'd venture to guess 99.9% of the anglers out there, the pros, are honest human beings and don't want that information. Yeah, there's going to be some cheaters in every group. Wink, wink. I know somebody that should get polyed right now. We'll just leave it at that.
It's intent, man. It's so sad because it's like, okay, you're going to go to a baseball game, but you're not allowed to talk about baseball or talk to anybody. It's like, in one way, I don't think it's healthy if you want to promote the sport. But the other thing is like you're setting some people up for failure, especially when you get more popular.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like me being here and I'm doing this. Anytime I have a break, I have someone that wants to talk to me. What you're saying is I need to forcibly push people away. Yeah. That's such a weird thing for the sport, but
we did our 5 Lakes tournament last year, and one of the bodies of water that we fish on, I have a buddy of mine, Bill, absolute hammer, and he owns this lake. He knows every square inch of it, what the fish are doing. He's got all the patterns down, and I was pre-fishing this lake and bumped into him, and preemptively I said, "Hey, Bill, don't tell me anything." Yeah. And I know that lake well enough anyway, but yeah, I guess preemptively, it's good if you're going to fish a body of water for a tournament, you bump into your buddy, you preemptively just say, hey brother, don't tell me anything. I got a tournament here next week. Yeah. And that's what I did.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer. I mean, this is why, guys, like my month-long tournaments, I'm just like, guys, just don't do like the big cardinal sins, and we're fine because it's fun. We're not going to compete for money. You know, I don't like it when people are texting me like, "Oh, well, I just asked my friend how he's doing." It's like, fuck, you guys are going out to have fun. Like, it's okay. You can talk to your friends. I don't know, and that's just my vibe with it. Again, more libertarian with that kind of stuff versus the hard cheating like the Jacob Hausman or the fish traps.
You're a libertarian?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh, see you later.
But yeah, just like keep all that crap out of it and keep it fun, the fun factor. I think it just gets so stressful for some of this stuff. But speaking of fun, You haven't been fishing very long. You've gotten good real quick. Like, now you do put a lot of pressure on yourself. I've seen you at the boat ramp after the fence.
I yell at myself a lot.
How do you keep it? How do you feel mentally that you put a lot of pressure on yourself? So how do you, without medication, how do you keep the voices down that you are improving and you are slowly going up the ranks with everything that you're doing?
Yeah, pre-fishing seems to calm my nerves. I pre-fish a lot. Like last year, Potomac tournament, man, I fished at Potomac 2-3 weeks straight before the tournament just to calm my nerves, get to learn the patterns, titles. Up until my rookie year, I'd never fished a tidal before in my life.
Wow.
I live 5 minutes from the Shenandoah. I'd never fished the Shenandoah River before. Talk about embarrassing. But I grew up fishing. Like I said, I grew up in the St. Lawrence River. I grew up in Clayton, New York, but not as a bass fisherman.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, more of a sport fisherman. I grew up pike and muskie fishing. Bass wasn't even on the radar. After the military and getting to Virginia, that's when I started to lay into bass fishing, fell in love with it. Yeah, I did online tournaments. I ran an online tournament group for a few years before NBKBA.
What? I never knew this about you.
Yeah, I came in with a few years experience, so maybe I didn't deserve Rookie of the Year, but I wasn't technically a rookie. I was a rookie as far as real legitimate bass tournaments. But yeah.
What was your biggest learning curve last year? You had Lake Anna, Potomac. Lake Anna, Potomac, 5 lakes, Shenandoah, Rap, and then we had 5 lakes too, and then we finished up on the Upper Potomac. Like, so, what would you grade your season?
Probably a C. After, excuse me, after Rookie of the Year, I thought going into my sophomore year, I was going to come in and bang it out. I was going to kick ass and take. Can I swear on here?
Yeah,
I was going to kick ass and take names. Lake Anna humbled me right off the bat. Fell out of my kayak. I was with you. Fell out of my kayak first tournament of the year like an idiot.
Yeah,
so Lake
no
Anna,
one would ever fall out of their kayak.
oh, I fell out backwards head first into cold ass water, and then my kayak just motored off. But yeah, Lake Anna humbled me right off the bat. I figured, okay, I'll scratch that one off the list. Then we had our Shenandoah incident where both of us almost perished.
Yeah,
But,
that was bad.
Yeah, but I still figured, okay, I've got the Rap. I've got Sleater for 5 lakes. I knew 5 Lakes 2 was going to be a crap show because I planned on going to Hunting Run just for emotional reasons instead of Mooney or Nye. I should have gone to Nye with you, obviously. But, yeah, see, I don't think I did that great. I didn't meet my expectations, but I went to the KBF National Championships.
And Lake Anna Championship, though, like you did well
Yeah,
there.
I did well at the Classic, and I did real well at the National Championships. That's how I planned on fishing the whole year. I thought I did average up to them, but I did real well down in Gunnersville. So
You finished strong. I mean, Lake Anna, you were, one fish away, basically, from being in contention there, which is what you want to be within a score.
I lost it right in front of Chun. I lost a tank. I might have won that. If I'd have caught Chun's fish,
Well, caught your
I think
fish.
I would
It's
have
not
won it.
Chun's fish if you caught it first.
well, yeah.
There's, I guess, way you look at it.
I'm a little fish in a big pond compared to Chun. Chun's the master. But
Dude, Chun, I don't know how you do it at 95 years old like that. You are so spry. My God, he fishes so fast.
yeah,
And you had scope this year for the first time.
yeah.
Was that like a little bit of paralysis? Like, how did you kind of get that into your rotation without getting like full, like just down the rabbit hole and staring at the screen at one pebble for 8 hours?
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a curse first because when you first get it, all you're doing is staring at that screen like a 12-year-old playing video games, and it kind of takes you away from actually fishing. And big learning curve. Once you get it down, it becomes a blessing. And but to be honest with you, with MVKBA right behind me, best kayak fishing group in the U.S. as far as I'm concerned. As far as forward-facing sonar, it didn't really help or hurt me during the season because you don't really use it in your tidal events. There's other fisheries. I know when I fished leader, I didn't use it because the fish aren't where you're going to use it. But I was thinking about that on the way down here today. There weren't that many fish that I caught exclusively using forward-facing sonar. I think I would have done just as well without it. But I'll be the first one to cry and bitch about it if they take it away.
I don't think any tournament was won with scope last year.
Yeah,
Shenandoah wasn't. Upper Potomac
I know
wasn't.
Josh used it pretty. He used it almost exclusively at Mooney, but
He didn't win.
But you're talking about Josh Reese. Josh Reese would do phenomenally well with or without it.
Yeah.
I think Josh would do well in a paddle kayak with one rod.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He's here today, by the way.
He's somewhere. I got to get him on. But yeah, I guess my thought was like, when people complain about like scope and all that other stuff, but it's like most of the people that won didn't have it. So it's not necessarily if you have scope, it's guaranteed in kayak fishing that you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
Which is, I've always found that fascinating, where the bass boat world is so drama about that, but then you have a Reese, a Coleman, somehow I was dumb enough to fall into it. Like, you don't necessarily need it to be successful.
Yeah, James Coleman's a perfect example. He's 10 times the angler I am, and he's in a pedal kayak.
He doesn't have a motor, you're right.
He's amazing. Yeah. I don't think and as far as our group's concerned, it's a difference maker at all. I mean, it's funny. I think back to the kayak show last year, and one little kid came up to me. He's like, "Oh, you must be a really good angler," because he saw my overly expensive, fully loaded,
You're like,
stupid
that's
kayak.
right, son. The more money you spend means you're more successful.
Yeah, and I pointed over to James Coleman and I said, that guy is way better than me, and probably way smarter because he doesn't pour all the money into his kayak like I do. Yeah.
But he has a sweet rig, guys. Go check out
he
his
does.
Instagram. It's John's rig is insanely sweet. The last thing, you got to go to the KBF Championship. You made some best friends. What was that experience like?
Yeah, I'll tell a funny story, right? The pre-tournament is actually a 3-fish, big fish tournament, if I said that right. 3-fish, big fish. So first tournament before the actual championship. So the top 10 anglers at the end of the day kind of sit at a table. Every day after each tournament, there's kind of like a little award ceremony type deal with Chad Hoover and all those guys. So I'm sitting there with 9 of probably the best kayak anglers in the nation. And they're all decked out. They have every sponsor on their jersey, on their boats, on their trucks. They got the rafts. They're like top tier pros, and then you have me. I'm sitting there with these guys. So I'm BSing with them like I'm one of them, and I'm not. So at one point, the number 1 angler probably in the world, Wyatt Hammond, he's sitting to my left. We're talking about lures and whatever we were talking about, where we actually fished. And he said, "Who are you again?" Very humbling moment. It kind of let me know, I'm the new guy on the block, but real proud of my performance. First 3 days, I was in the top 20, and my goal going down there was, if you get past day 1, the first cut goes from 150 to 100, and if you make that cut, you get a measuring board. And I figured, okay, I'll have driven 16 miles. I'll have driven 16 hours for this tournament, 8 hours down, 8 hours back, a ton of money for a bed and breakfast down there, all the time and effort you put into it. And my goal was, let me just get that measuring board that shows I made the top 100. And going in the last day, I thought I had a chance, man. I really did. That would
have been an epic end to your season.
I was 9th, 23rd, 20-something, and then the last day I kind of tripped and fell on my face a little bit, but great experience. I tell you what, KBF, Chad Hoover, Austin Hoover, Chad's son,
They do a phenomenal job. That tournament, if you can qualify for it, it's amazing. It's a blast. You get to meet anglers from all over the U.S. and great experience. I thought we were going to talk about your kayak.
Yeah. So
Let's stop talking about me.
So, well, you're the guest. That's how this all works. Yeah, I guess the kayak situation, if you guys don't know, like it's multifaceted. Right now, if it wasn't for you lovely people, I would be on the street behind a Walmart doing unspeakable things for cash. So I don't have a new kayak. I have a kayak that is, it's experienced all life. My kayak hangs out at a truck stop, basically, goes from truck to survive. It's I'm going to say that to make sure I don't get demonetized. But this man here said he's going to do a little pretty little woman and going to make her all pretty. He is slowly becoming the pimp daddy for kayaks with how well he can craft and design them. And he looks like a big burly mountain man, but he could be a fashion designer with what he's doing with the thing.
Yeah, I'm a kayak fashion designer. It's a Wilderness Systems Tarpon 135.
Radar 135.
Radar 135. I don't know how it stayed afloat. Dude, in the last 3 nights I've patched so many holes in that thing.
Really?
I thought, how is Thomas still alive right now? How's he alive? I did a water test. I filled it up with water to see where it was leaking, and it was a lot more than 1 or 2 or 5 places.
Oh God!
But patched up quite a bit. My son got me a 3D printer for Christmas, and they no longer make parts for your kayak. So I'm having to design replacement parts as best I can, but it's coming along good. I've got it pretty. I'm doing some pretty cool things with it. You're going to have dual screens up front. You're going to be able to open your hatches. You couldn't open a hatch on that thing.
You're going to get dual screens. You're going to be able to float. I mean,
oh yeah, floating. You're going to be able to float this year for sure. Yeah, let's hope.
I just thought like having water in the kayak was natural to keep it like more buoyant or something like that. But yeah,
I power washed it. Oh my God. When's the last time you washed it?
No.
When's the last time you washed it? Have you ever?
Yeah, have you ever? When you get a mutt from the pound,
you don't wash it.
You don't wash it because you don't know if it's going to live like that much longer. I know that got real dark, but no, I have not. I have not washed that thing.
Yeah. You know how when you power wash your sidewalk after a few years and you can like spell your name out with a power washer and everything? It was worse.
Oh my God. So I don't know if that made his dream with, I've seen how clean his garage is. I don't know if that gave him PTSD or actually gave him purpose in life to clean the thing.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness, John, I really appreciate you coming on. My staff is saying I got my next guest here. If you want to get your kayak service, go check him out. John Molnar on Instagram. What is your name on Instagram?
On Instagram, Nova, N-O-V-A, Bass Assassins. That was the name of my online group.
Oh, really?
I haven't changed it. But,
Nova VA Bass Assassins. That's awesome.
Nova Bass Assassins, and it's not a business. I just like doing it. I'm doing yours for free.
Yes, he is.
And I just love doing it. I love rigging out kayaks. I should be working for Yak Attack right now, taking them to the next level.
Yak Attack.
Wade's here somewhere.
Yeah. Yak Attack, go get this guy a job here. That's exactly what he needs is more work. But no, honestly, he's got a vision, and the way he can work on kayaks, it's going to be in demand as kayak fishing keeps blowing up. All right, we're going. So anyway, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Be back with our last guest. Then we have a meet and greet from 12 to 2 p.m. So 2 hours, come and say hi.
I love you, Tom.
Quick little break here, dude. Thank you so much.
I love you, buddy.
It. I love you too, man. All right, guys. And then also, I'm going to drop into the old chatty chat right here, our Patreon. If you could, really, it would help me out. Please go check us out on Patreon. Please sign up. It makes the world of difference just to kind of help us keep the lights on with everything that we're doing. Again, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back with our next group. Oh, well, that's because I have to turn it up. How about now? Is this better or worse?
A little higher. There you go.
That's good. How about yours? Yeah. You're good? Okay, cool. Sweet. And you can pull your mic a little bit closer. All right. I've had these fine gentlemen on a couple of times, but just for the fine folks at home that are listening the first time, if you guys can introduce yourselves, that would be great.
My name is Trip Lehman.
I'm Jack Donnelly with Crappie Fish here in Virginia.
You guys have had a really cool run of success over the past couple of years when it's in the crappie world. What makes a successful season? Is it just something? I mean, we always talk about the luck factor versus the skill. Is it just everything lines up that year to make things work?
Some years, yes.
Some years. Well, how is this year going for you?
Not too bad. We didn't do too good on the first tournament down at Kerr Reservoir. We did get the big
17th, I think, out of 27 that first tournament.
We did get big fish the following tournament.
Yep.
And then I was going to look up your schedule, but where is it? Anyway, or you guys can just tell me. That would make it easier.
Next tournament on bugs is February 21st.
Yes.
Which was fascinating when I had Josh on in the fall. Your schedule is not what, culturally with bass fishing, it's spring all the way around. Yours is different, though.
Yes,
Right. Ours starts in September and goes through April. That's for the Bobcats Trail. Richmond Crappie Club starts in February and runs through June.
Interesting. Why does the Bobcat do that for people that don't know?
It gives you 3 different seasons.
Oh,
You get the fall season, the winter season, and the spring season. And those are generally the best 3 seasons for crappie fishing.
Now, does the Bobcat, does that have any limitations like you're seeing in the bass fishing world when it comes to live scope technology and stuff like that? Or are they all the same way with the rules and everything?
They're pretty much the same.
You can use forward-facing sonar or anything.
Crappie breaks, which bass fishermen don't use very often.
But it was because of you guys, so to speak, that those breaks became a thing that you started to see on professional boats, too.
Yes.
Does it scare the fish at all when you're slamming those trolling motors in reverse like that? Like, how does that affect them?
Yes.
It does. The crappie breaks will, because they're on 10 constantly. They're on high speed, so if you hit it hard, too close to the fish, it still affects them.
Yeah, because that's 2 30-pound trolling motors going off simultaneously, going from 0 to 100.
Facing backwards.
I am going to have, guys, later on in the month of January, a really cool episode talking about the history of crappie fishing. And so I thought this would be an interesting companion piece that I'll also re-upload about where we are right now in the state of crappie fishing. Cane poles to scoping. How has, this is basic stuff, but how has the technology affected crappie fishing in 2026?
It's the electronics have affected the crappie fishing. The old style cane poles compared to the 17, 18-foot rods that we use now.
Basically the same, except for we can see what we're doing under the water.
Yeah.
Probably, what's the weight difference between the old school versus the new school poles? Like a 16-foot pole back then versus now, it's got to be lighter, right?
Well, no, I think the 16-foot pole back then was probably heavier.
Okay.
Now everything's pretty much carbon fiber and stuff like that, so it's a lot lighter until you get to a certain length. But to have enough backbone in an 18-foot rod, it's got to be pretty stout sometimes.
Why go that route versus, again, going to go back onto the bass fishing for my bass fishing guys that are listening now. Instead of just flipping to them, you're going to go with that long rod and just drop it right in front of their face.
Correct.
Is that the distance then that you want them away from the boat?
For the most part.
Why is that?
It makes it easy. This time of year where the fish are suspended and they're not really doing much, they're not swimming around a lot. You can usually just drop it right on them. Different times of year, February or like October, September, they're a little further out, they're a little more schooled, they're a little more active. Then we'll pitch to them. We'll shoot to them with a dock shooter or something like that when they're on structure. So.
When is their spawn, pre-spawn? Like, what does that line up with largemouth?
I'm guessing largemouth's probably about April.
Yeah, roughly. For like Lake Anna, that's a good 5, yeah.
February is when they start usually.
Water temperature has a lot to do with it.
Temperature.
So mid to upper 40s for water temperatures when the bigger fish are going to start moving up. And then the smaller ones, you know, will get up in there in upper 50s, 60s.
Do they suspend this time of year, or do they want to be around cover, or do they just float in the ether like largemouth sometimes do?
Smaller fish will go to cover. They're more almost like a community fish. The larger fish, they'll go out in the middle and they'll just hang out there until a piece of bait comes by and snatch it up.
So are you hunting then a specific fish in a tournament?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes.
Is that on every single lake, or does it depend on the body of water?
It depends on time of year also.
Okay.
So if we're fishing, you know, more like the September, October, we're not really targeting one fish because they're going to be holding tight to structure. You'll see better fish on your forward-facing sonar that you want to target, but a lot of times, you know, you'll catch whatever you can get in there and still try to get that without spooking all of them off.
Interesting. We did have a question that came up a little bit earlier on Instagram. Is it still there? Yeah. It's about tidal water. Let's see, Jim Wolf. There it is. What is the difference between crappie fishing on tidal water versus a lake?
There's a lot of difference.
It's a lot of difference. A lot tougher. It's a lot tougher.
Why?
Just because you got water movement in, water movement out, slack tide. You just got to time it just right.
And then normally you have, in the rivers, you have a consistent water depth a lot of time compared to lakes where you have, you know, pockets and stuff. A lot of time, you know, you'll have it in the bends where, you know, a lot of depth varies, but a lot of times where you're targeting crappie, it's going to be all the same depth. You're not going to have a lot of contour, some structure.
Is it hard in a tidal body of water to kind of determine a crappie versus the 10 billion other species that are in there? Or is it something that you guys have kind of picked up on?
We can usually pick up pretty well. There are some fish that we call by different names.
Yeah. or small catfish. Small catfish, you'll school up under docks a lot of times on the tidal. Oh, yeah, down on the Chickahominy. You'll look under a dock and it'll look like 100 crappie, but it'll be 100, you know, small catfish.
Yeah.
I wonder if the DWR knows about that. That's interesting, because I've seen that. I thought sometimes, like on the Potomac, they look like bass. You set the hook, and it looks like a swarm of bees, like the way they act when you hook one of them. That's definitely, I think, a bigger issue than like the snakehead for sure, because the amount of, at least I see on the Potomac, is just preposterously stupid in that same size. Like, I didn't know the chick was having the same issue.
Yeah, the Chickahominy
they have a lot of catfish.
Do they group together, or when you catch a catfish, do you like, we got to balance the spot, it's not going to work?
Most of the time we bounce.
You bounce, yeah.
Yep, because the catfish take over. Like they said in the seminar just a little while ago, crappie's not going to present itself to a catfish. Catfish will swallow it whole.
But it's weird, because like bass, like it's so interesting that like bass, bluegill, and crappie kind of have that weird, like they can actually school together or be around each other. But catfish, yeah, that makes sense though, honestly. If you had to pick one bait in the pre-spawn for crappie, what would it be?
Hair jig.
Hair jig? Why?
For one, I tie my own, so I know exactly what I'm getting. Two, just the action of them. In the February, we'll use up to an 1/8 ounce hair jig. You know, there's just a lot of variety. It takes a little bit longer if you need to switch colors, but once you find out what they're after, a lot of times it'll work all day.
All day.
I had a Patreon member who wanted me to ask you this question. He doesn't have a boat. He fishes from different docks and stuff, or public piers. Highly pressured situation. What are things that you can do in those situations to try to get a couple more bites than everybody else when you have so many people around?
Minnows. Hair jig and plastics, more for boat fishing. Something, you know, if I took my kids out to a dock just to fish, I'd carry a bucket of minnows.
Yep.
Anything will bite a minnow.
When you're rigging that up, how important is the size of the hook, the line and stuff to keep that thing mobile? Do you want the minnow to be mobile and moving around? I remember watching a Florida special about, I think they were using pilchards, and he talked about like you don't want the hook so big because you want that thing to dart and move. Are crappie really interested in that kind of movement, or do they just want it just floating dead?
No, they want it moving. A lot of times they won't eat it dead.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So normally I'll downsize a lot of times. I'll use a number 4 hook.
Oh, wow.
Just a number 4 gold Aberdeen hook. And I'll hook them a lot of times 3 different ways. Sometimes just straight through the lips. A lot of times you get ones that are just tail nipping it. I'll feed it in through the mouth, out the gill, and then hook it in the top of the back. The minnow still stays alive as long as you hook it above and you just slide the hook through the gill, or either I'll hook it right behind the dorsal fin on the back. That way it can kind of swim.
That's fascinating. Sponsored wise, guys, if people wanted to go get some good crappie gear in the area and actually go there, touch it, feel it, all that stuff, where should you go? Where would you send them?
Well, in this area, Dance's Sporting Goods. As far as fishing rods, we're sponsored by Crappie Nut Rods. They make some great rods, good backbone. Like I said, we use all of their rods all the way out to 18 foot long.
18 foot long is just wild. I'm assuming they're collapsed, right? Like
they're 3-piece, but we leave them on the boat whole.
Yeah, we have a special rack on the boat to actually hold the long rods.
How many do you run in a tournament at a time?
We have normally 6 on the boat, but normally we are just single poling. Just he's on the front, I'm in the back. He's just, heads down on the display, one rod in his hand, hunting a fish. He catches a fish, I grab it, weigh it, put it in the live well. He breaks off, I'm handing him another rod, retying. So normally we just run one rod.
Yeah.
Are you his caddy?
Not really his caddy, but
he feeds me lunch too.
It's a team sport.
It's a team sport.
It's a team effort. So
when it comes to electronics, I'm a video game addict. I can play video games all day. Fishing on live scopes like playing a video game. So, and I'm good at, like I said, with the electronics, side scan, down scan, forward facing. He's good at everything else, especially tying jigs. So.
But also on tidal waters, also we will run poles out the back a lot of times, just drifting them. I mean, we've caught a lot of fish that way, also down on the Chick and the James.
I've seen some crappie fishing tournaments where you get both on the front, but you're on the back. Is there a strategy to that versus not having you up front?
Yes.
Yeah, normally, all right, because when you have 2 people up on the front, a lot of times both of them are fishing. You're crossing lines, you're getting tied up. He catches a fish, then he stops, and then I have to take the trolling motor. We don't do that. We keep eyes on the screen hunting the next fish all the time.
What'll happen first? Will we get a new state record size crappie or Grand Theft Auto 6?
Probably Grand Theft Auto. I don't know. The crappie are, everybody's throwing the big ones back. Crappie are growing larger.
There was a 3.5 caught on bugs a couple weeks ago. It was a hybrid, so it wasn't a true white or a black.
Do you think it's going to be bugs, or do you think it'll be a no-name fishery, a secret prize that'll actually produce the next state record?
It'll be a secret spot.
Yeah.
Is it just
bugs is going to produce big fish?
Is it like bass, where it's like it's never the big lakes that just do it just because of whatever reason?
Probably going to be like a little farm pond somewhere.
Huh.
That would be my guess.
Yeah, I remember last year, I think it was the Bobcat series, that was an absurd sized bag of crappie that came out of there.
1728,
yeah.
That was
1728.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I can't wrap my head around 17 pounds for crappie like that.
For 7 fish.
When did you know that you had magic happening? Was it the first one?
We had magic happening on the second fish. Yeah. It was a 327.
Our first 7 fish that way went 13.5, almost 13.6, and we had, one under a pound, I believe, in the boat.
So freaking awesome, guys. Oh.
It was beautiful. Everything lined up. The stars aligned. Everything that day.
So you think that's going to be broken anytime soon, or you think that's going to hold up for a while?
It could possibly be broken.
This year's going to be interesting down on bugs, for the same time of year, because right now bugs is a little over 5 feet low, last year it was 8 feet high. So you're looking at over a 13-foot change in water depth.
Which has messed the fishing up pretty. I mean, the fish are a little different this year.
Yeah, everywhere's affected by this drought. It's been absolutely wild with the water fluctuation. But no, guys, I really appreciate you coming on just for a short little stint here. Please go follow them one last time. Plug all your sponsors and where people can find you.
S&M Handyman Service, Allen Mechanical, Train Heating and Air, Haymaker Auto,
Ace
Dooley
Glass.
Electric, Ace Glass, Bellamy's Buzzers.
And crappie nut
Crappie nut
rods and reels.
And then also, guys, go check out the Bobcat Series and the Richmond Crappie Club. Again, these guys hold the record for the largest bag ever caught out of Bugs Island last year. Go check out
Possibly
that
the state.
Possibly
the state.
That is. Can you get it certified? Like, how would that work?
I don't know. I don't think so, but
That's dumb. Because I mean, that was.
everybody we talk to, it's like they don't know of any other bag weighing that for crappie coming out of any tournament.
That's wild.
I mean, you could probably fun fish and catch it. I think there's another guy that's caught more than that, just out guiding or whatever. But as far as turning it in and during a tournament to where it's officially weighed, I don't think it's been there.
And the stress of a tournament.
Yeah,
it's
yes.
completely different when you're fun fishing compared to the stress of a tournament.
Night and day difference. Because if you go out in absolute perfect conditions, perfect time of year, you can make that magic happen. But to do it in a tournament, that's just so much harder to do.
Yes.
100%. Guys, we are going to be taking a quick commercial break here. Or actually, no, let me check the time. Yep. So we have our good old-fashioned meet and greet from noon to 2. So we're going to be going back on this evening. And if you guys could, go check me out on Patreon, guys. Help keep the lights on. Come on out and say hi. And we will see you guys later. Bye.